Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm really glad you're here. This space is all about healing, growth, and learning how to walk through life with faith, even when things don't make sense. Today, I want to talk about faith, what faith really is, how it works, and why faith can completely change the way you experience life. Because faith is often misunderstood. Some people think faith means pretending everything is fine when it's not. Others think faith means you never question, never struggle, never doubt. And some people think faith is just wishing really hard and hoping things work out. But real faith, biblical faith, is much deeper than that. Let me start with this. Faith is not about having all the answers. Faith is about trusting God even when you don't. Hebrews 11:1 tells us that faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. That means faith doesn't wait for proof. Faith moves before the evidence shows up. Faith says, I don't understand everything right now, but I trust the one who does. Faith always starts on the inside. Before anything changes around you, something changes within you. Faith shifts your mindset. It strengthens your heart. It steadies you when life feels shaky. When you walk by faith, you're no longer led by fear, anxiety, or uncertainty. You're led by trust. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 5:7 that we walk by faith, not by sight. Sight says, this looks impossible. Faith says, God is still able. One of the greatest gifts faith gives us is peace. Faith doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It means you won't face them alone. When you trust God, you stop carrying burdens you were never meant to carry. You stop trying to control everything. You stop replaying every worst-case scenario in your mind. Philippians 4 reminds us not to be anxious, but to bring everything to God in prayer. And when we do, God's peace guards our hearts and our minds. That peace doesn't come from circumstances changing. It comes from trusting God in the middle of them. Faith also gives you strength. Not the kind of strength that makes life easy, but the kind that helps you keep going when life is hard. Faith gives you strength when you're tired, courage when fear tries to take over, hope when everything feels heavy. Isaiah 40:31 says that those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Faith doesn't mean you'll never feel weak. It means weakness won't stop you. Another powerful benefit of faith is direction. Faith helps you make decisions from wisdom instead of fear. It teaches you to pause, pray, and trust God's timing, even when you don't like waiting. Proverbs 3 tells us to trust in the Lord with all our heart and not lean on our own understanding. When we do that, God directs our paths. Faith doesn't promise a smooth road, but it promises guidance along the way. Faith also produces growth. Some of the hardest seasons in your life will also be the seasons that shape you the most. Faith helps you see purpose where you once only saw pain. Faith says, this season isn't happening to me, it's working in me. James reminds us that the testing of our faith produces perseverance. Faith matures you, it refines you, it strengthens your character.
Faith also brings freedom. When you live by faith, you stop being controlled by outcomes. You stop needing everything to make sense before you move forward. You learn how to surrender. And surrender isn't giving up. It's trusting God more than you trust yourself. Faith frees you from constant worry, overthinking, fear of the unknown, and the need to control everything. Romans 8:28 reminds us that God works all things together for good for those who love Him. Faith allows you to rest in that truth, even when you don't see how yet. Let me say this honestly. Faith does not mean you will never struggle. It does not mean you will never doubt. It does not mean life will be perfect. Faith means that even in the struggle, you trust God's presence. Even in doubt, you choose belief. Even in pain, you hold on to hope. Faith grows when you use it. Just like a muscle, faith gets stronger the more you exercise it, especially during hard seasons. Faith also changes how you love. When you trust God, you love differently. You forgive more easily. You extend grace more freely. You stop reacting from wounds and start responding with wisdom. Faith softens your heart. And if your faith feels small right now, that's okay. Jesus said that faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. Faith doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be placed in God.
So how does faith work? Faith listens. Faith trusts. Faith moves. Faith waits. Faith obeys. Faith believes, even when it's hard. And the benefits of faith? Peace, strength, direction, freedom, hope, growth, and a deeper relationship with God. Faith doesn't change God. Faith changes you. If you're watching this today and you feel uncertain, overwhelmed, or tired, let this be your reminder. God sees you. God is with you, and God is still working. Keep trusting, keep believing, keep walking by faith. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Until next time, stay faithful, stay hopeful, and keep trusting God even when you can't see the way.